Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Tony and you're watching Yesteryear, and today we're going to cover the horror films that we loved of 1933. Alright, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, leave them below. Click subscribe. Let's check out the horror films that we loved of 1933. And first up we have is the classic King Kong adventure, horror, and sci-fi. Film crew goes to a tropical island for a location shoot where they capture a colossal ape who they take back to New York, and where he takes a liking to a woman and he creates havoc. This is the legendary of King Kong. Next up we have is Mystery of the Wax Museum, also released in 1933, horror, mystery, and thriller. The disappearance of people and corpses leading a reporter to a wax museum and a sinister sculptor. The Mystery of the Wax Museum. This is a pretty scary movie of its time. Check it out if you haven't already. Next up we have is Night of Terror, horror, mystery, and thriller. The heirs to a family fortune are required to attend a seance at the spooky old family mansion. However, throughout the night, members of the family are being killed off one by one. Night of Terror will not disappoint. Next up we have is Son of Kong. Remember King Kong? Here's the Son of Kong. Adventure, family, and horror. The showman who brought Kong to New York returns to Skull Island and finds Kong's son, a spunky 12-footer with a winning personality and his dad's awesome strength. The Son of Kong. Next up we have another classic, a gem. The Invisible Man. Horror and sci-fi. A scientist finds a way of becoming invisible, but in doing so he becomes murderously insane. This is a true gem, a classic, The Invisible Man. A lot of jump scares of its time. The Invisible Man. Next up we have is La Llorona, the crybaby, the crier. Horror and mystery. In modern day Mexico, a man on the street is supernaturally killed after hearing the eerie sounds of a wailing woman. And that woman comes to life and starts killing people one by one. How do the villagers take to the crying woman? Next up we have is Murders in the Zoo, crime and horror. A monomaniacal zoologist is pathologically jealous of his beautiful but unfaithful wife Evelyn, and will not stop short of murder to keep her. Murders in the Zoo. Great horror film of 1933. Next up we have is Supernatural, horror, mystery, and thriller. A serial Black Widow murderess returns to life in the body of a young woman to exact revenge on a former lover, a phony spiritualist who betrayed her. This has a lot of revenge and jump scares. Next up we have is The Testament of Dr. Mabuse, crime, mystery, thriller, and horror. A criminal mastermind uses hypnosis to rule the rackets after the death. Alright, The Testament of Dr. Mabuse. Crime, mystery, and thriller. Next up we have is The Ghoul. Action, drama, and horror. Action. An Egyptologist returns from the dead to take revenge on those who have violated his tomb. The Ghoul. This is a good scary movie. Kind of fun. But it's a lot of good. It's a great horror movie of its time, The Ghoul. Next up we have is The Monkey's Paw, horror film. A mother wishes for the return of her dead son, a wish that is granted by the severed paw of a dead monkey. The Monkey's Paw. This is a really good movie. If you haven't already seen it, I highly recommend it. Next up we have is The Vampire Bat, drama, horror, and mystery. When corpses drained of blood begin to show up in European village, vampirism is suspected to be responsible. The Vampire Bat. This is a pretty good movie. Check it out if you haven't already. The Vampire Bat. What do you think about the horror films that we loved of 1933? Now you have legends of King Kong and the Son of Kong. 1932, Um, you had zombies. 1931, you had Dracula. You had Dr. Jekyll. You had Frankenstein. So see, they're getting really good with the monsters in the early 30s. And people back then loved to be scared. Obviously, the studios were punching out horror films because people like to be scared. Picture this in the 1930s. This is 2023. Now picture the 1930s with no technology. And you're being scared with that technology? Ugh, that must have been exquisite. All right, I'm telling you, you're watching Yesteryear today. Those are the horror films that we loved of 1933. You have any questions, comments, or feedback, leave them below. And thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all in the next video.